Yesterday evening, I received this email from London Short Film Festival declining my short film, 61 Hugs, for their 2019 showcase. You and I are now going to discuss this email. I'm going to eat watermelon whilst we do this video today because I like watermelon. Now, this email came through yesterday evening, which would have been Saturday the 27th, I think, or Saturday the 28th of September. And this is what it reads. Obviously, copy and paste job, like they're not personalising love letters to people here. Dear CK, gotta love mail merge. Firstly, thank you for submitting your short film for consideration into the 16th London Short Film Festival, and many thanks for your patience whilst we viewed the films. We are sorry to inform you that your work has not been selected to screen at the London Short Film Festival 2019. This year, we received more than 3,200 submissions, making the selection process harder than ever. London Short Film Festival is incredibly appreciative of your dedication and passion to filmmaking. Our selection process reflects this, with a dedicated programming and viewing team who, rigorous viewing, blah, 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 blah. Now, in the interest of full disclosure, I remember when I submitted my film, I think it was maybe 2 to 3 months ago, before the film was actually released. And I remember thinking, do you know what? This is a punt. It's 15, I can't remember, 15 or 20 quid to submit. This is a punt because I know what 61 Hugs is and what it isn't. And I'm going to elaborate a little bit more on what I mean by what it is and what it isn't in a bit. But I always thought, you know what, this is going to be a punt. But in fairness, once it was released and just unanimously everybody showed such warmth and affection to it, I thought, actually, maybe it isn't a punt. Maybe there's a chance. Now, by the time that email came, I'd actually forgotten I submitted the damn thing. So when it came, I was like, all right, fair enough. Because I had long since made peace with what 61 Hugs is and what 61 Hugs isn't via a few other film festivals I've sent it to, and I've not been accepted. What I've discovered about 61 Hugs is it is what I would characterise as a people's film. Like, regular humans that have no interest, no affinity, or no desire to make films themselves just love it. Because they're just looking at it as one guy with huge overthinking problems, trying to combat that, and his interactions with the universe. That's the only level they're looking at it on, right? And that's the only level I wish anybody to look at it on. Now, compare that with a filmmaker or people that are into making films. They're going to be looking for slightly different assets. They're going to be looking, perhaps, for dexterous camera operation or dynamic lighting, story arcs. Now, 61 Hugs has a story arc, but when it comes to the technical element, that isn't, I don't care, all right? I never have, and if you look back on my work, you'll see that that's not what I do. I like telling stories. Now, I'm going to share other rejection letters, and I keep using the word rejection, but I don't look at it as rejection. I just say it's not quite right for us, and I just get that, I respect it, and I understand it. And I'm going to go through more of these I've had recently. I want to do that in a separate video, but I wanted to touch on it now. But 61 Hugs occupies a very unique territory. You know, you're watching it and you're thinking, is this a documentary? Is this a YouTube social experiment? Is it a vlog? Is it a short film? Like, what is it? And I love that. I've always felt a great affinity for what the hell is this thing? Like, it doesn't matter what it is, just enjoy. And that makes me happy. So the fact that these festivals have been not showing the same affinity for it as the regular dude on the street, I love that. Because I'm thinking, you just made a film that normal humans adore, and I love that. Now, you're probably going to be thinking, I mean, CK, you're going to say that like they've just told you to fuck off. True, but incorrect. And I can prove that via an interview which you will be seeing. Maybe next week it's going to go live. It's an interview with a wonderful media and arts website that loves 61 Hugs and invited me to do a Q&A. I'm going to read one of the questions they sent me. This is an exclusive. You're kind of seeing this before it's even come out, and I'm going to read it to you now. And the question is, CK, have you always had a passion for filmmaking? My response, filmmaking is a frighteningly broad term. my definition of filmmaking will definitely be different to Christopher Nolan and Quentin Tarantino's definition of filmmaking. But here's the thing, I want our definitions to differ. I don't harbour any real ambitions to make traditional fictional blockbusters or films. I'm fascinated more by the spectacle of real life and showing that in its stunning, relatable magnificence. I do, however, wish my projects to attract blockbuster-sized audience. I can't lie. Ha ha ha. That's I said that. I think I sent them my responses to their questions about a week before that submission came out. And it's just true. I'm just fascinated by real life and documenting it in a relatable, accessible way. You could have made 61 hugs. You legitimately could have made 61 hugs. And that is a common thread through everything I do. Anyone can make it, because I only ever make it on this. I only ever make it on my phone for the most part, because it's just easy, it's in my pocket, and I just like that. So what I want to do now is just share something else to you, because although, let's just call them industry. Let's just call them industry for a second. Although industry aren't falling over themselves, per se, to screen 61 hugs, although I have got some festival announcements to mention to you. But although mainstream festivals aren't falling over themselves, average humans just continue to send me stunning comments. And we've already mentioned the gentleman. This was on my Facebook page. There's a video on my Facebook page where a chap, I just said chap, a guy contacted me on the day of his dad's funeral, and he just said watching 61 Hugs just lifted the burden, the stress and the headache that he was having that day. And just imagine someone saying that compared to a mainstream festival saying this isn't quite right for us. Like, which one do you think pulled on my heart more? We've already discussed the woman in Seattle who was having a rough day. Her friend sent her 61 hugs and she DM'd me saying, I just forgot about what a shit day I was having. This was extraordinary. The student who's coming to Sheffield to study, who was anxious about Sheffield, but now is excited about Sheffield. These are the things that I love. And I have the most exquisite illustration of how 61 Hugs is, and it's a production for an everyman, right? Observe. This amused me no end. Are you familiar with Reddit? Reddit is a website. It's a huge website where people can share ideas, exchange thoughts, give feedback on projects, submit their projects for people to watch, for them to enjoy, to leave comments on. And I submitted one of my projects about 6 weeks ago. Remember when I went to London and I asked strangers if I could take them for lunch? That video was called The Difference Say Yes, and I posted it on Reddit 6 weeks ago just to ask for people's feedback. I'm going to read what one guy said on that, and there's a very, very specific purpose for this. You need to bear with me, because I was just pissing myself today. So I posted that project on Reddit, and one guy wasn't keen. Not only was he not keen on the project, he wasn't particularly keen on me or my dress sense. This is what he wrote underneath that video. It very much depends who you were to ask. If you were to ask a spice head if they want a meal, they may well not want it because it's not money for spice. Ask a businessman if they want a free meal from a shady, hippie-ish looking guy stood on the street, and they'd say no. I mean, I don't know why he's making a personal attack on my wardrobe. I just find that really weird. Ask single mothers if they'd like a free meal. They'd say no because they know there is always an angle. This guy's really cynical. Ask some susceptible 14-year-old girls with a shit upbringing, and she might say yes because she's naive and doesn't know that she's being used in a social experiment. Most people like to eat what they want when they want. I'd say no. I'd rather not be bothered by someone trying to prove a crap point. I'm sure you'd get a few homeless people taking you up on this offer, but even then, most homeless people would know that there is always a catch. Either way, I'd much rather eat without someone who approaches me on the street wanting to have a meal with me right now. It's not some sort of crazy science or horrible observation on society, just human nature. People are dangerous and unpredictable. So that was... I'm not easily offended, and this didn't offend me. The hippie-ish thing, I thought, do I dress like a hippie? I spent a little bit of time thinking about that. But, you know, I'm just not the guy that just gets wound up easily. So I detected a little bit of, I don't know, just a little bit of an element of his character which was probably suggesting he's not in a great place in his life. I mean, I think his comments were fair, but some points were just unnecessary. So I just assumed he's maybe not in a good place. I don't know. I was guessing. He might be in the best place in his world. He might have a fit bird that he's having sex with every day, and I'm not. But anyway, where did that come from? So I replied to him with this. This is all I said. Are you okay, mate? I hope so, but fear not. I recommend classical music. I mean, that's how I chill out. His reply was, yes, I'm actually feeling good recently. Thanks, dude. Kinda just wanted to share my opinion, being that, you know, you asked for opinions. Thanks for the musical recommendation, though. Now, this is where things get really interesting. This exchange was maybe 6 weeks ago, and I realised this morning, I can be quite, what's the word I'm looking for? A dick when I want to be. And sometimes it's fun to antagonise people. So I thought, okay, so this guy doesn't like me, he doesn't like my dress sense, and he doesn't like my experiments. So I'll just send him another one that features all of the above. I'll send him 61 Hugs, my current short film where I ask strangers for a hug. Assuming he's going to think, why are you sending me this shit? I don't like you, your projects, and you dress like a prat. That's what I expected this guy to say. So I sent him a link with this. I know you're angry and resent my clothing, but watch my new social experiment, you grumpy old fart. I just threw that in there because I was just... I don't even know. He could be 20 years old for all I know. So I sent him that. He watched 61 Hugs. He replied. I opened up the app expecting him to say, mate, this is shit, just like your first one. Like, why have you sent it to me? But this is what he said. Good stuff, actually. Really enjoyed that. Nice one, man. You just got a new angry subscriber. Now, if 60... I was by this point thinking, wow... Something about that film just speaks to humans, even angry humans with hot birds. I'm like, wow. So this is what I'm saying to you. The fact that London Short Film Festival declined my film, it's just water off a duck's back. And I've got to the point now where I'm probably not really going to do much submitting to festivals. So I've kind of, by accident, discovered the audience for 61 Hugs, and it's just humans, just normal people, you know. I just don't think I'm going to submit to any more festivals. I will probably spend more time submitting it to angry online trolls. Just send them the film with my love and some Beethoven.